Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly rundown where we talk about movies, TV, music, and video games. Not necessarily in that order, though. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Media Boat Podcast. Today is June the 19th, 2025. This is episode 492. I did just double check that that was correct. And it is. So, yeah, we have not a whole lot to talk about today. This is kind of a middle week as we kind of get into ease into summer. But we do have some interesting stuff, including a surprise that I'll get to in the video game section.
Yes, happy Juneteenth to everyone who is celebrating.
Yeah,
Also, happy last day of spring as tomorrow is officially summer,
finally.
even though we're already in June and it's
Yeah,
feeling the
it's
heat already.
already hot. It might as well just be summer already.
Well, you know what's hotter than hot?
The Hot 100.
Yeah, it is. So let's get the music section. Start the music section with the Billboard. Start that Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land is Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter.
Yep, new single debuted at number one this week. It's pretty good. It has Good Luck Babe vibes.
Right. And number two, Ordinary by Alex Warren.
Still there.
And then at three, What I Want isn't for Morgan Wallen to be here. Because at four, just in case you didn't understand, I don't want Morgan Wallen to be here. At five, we have Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. As for your album chart, your Billboard 200, at number one is still the problem himself, Morgan Wallen. But at number two, we have The Kata Vi. I mean, six by
There you
Lil
go.
Wayne.
Yes, surprise drop 2 weeks ago. I have not listened to this. I hear it's not very good.
That's okay. I hear everyone's calling GTA Vi upcoming not very good either.
Stop calling it Vi.
Well,
And
I
also,
will when they stop using.
nobody knows what that game's like because it's not out yet.
And they'll be based in Florida. That's all I need to know. At number three, we have Desire, Unleash by N hyphen. Thank you, K-pop.
Yep,
Four, Addison by Addison Ray. You can hear Matt's thoughts on
yep.
Addison by
Last week.
Addison Ray last week.
Mm-hmm.
And ready at your top five, SOS by SZA.
Yep.
If you like any of those albums, we have new releases, starting with American Heart by Benson
Yes, at
Boone.
long last, Benson Boone, the backflipper extraordinaire, has finally released his debut album. Yes, you're probably thinking, wait, didn't that already happen? No, somehow he's already existed for about a year in the public conscious, without actually putting out an album. But here it is.
I mean, didn't he headline Coachella though?
I mean, headline is not necessarily the case, but he was there.
Yes, he was there. He was backflipping off pianos.
He loves to backflip.
We also have Raspberry Moon by Hotline TNT, Tropicoqueta by Carol G, American Romance by Lucas Nelson, Planting by the Signs by S.G. Goodman, Fairyland Codex by Tropical Fuck Storm, Scratch It by U.S. Girls, Do It Afraid by Yaya Bay, Idols by Youngblood, and lastly, as we round this out, I Quit
You quit the
by
podcast?
Haim.
Oh, never mind.
No, no, Haim is putting out an album called I
I quit.
Quit.
Yeah, this is their first
I
in
feel like you gotta throw
five
your hands up when you
years.
say that too. I
Exactly.
quit.
Yeah, this is their first in 5 years, follow up to the last record, which we really both liked, and was even nominated for Grammy for Album of the Year. I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely listen to this, so I'll talk about it next week.
Yes, that's a next week issue.
Hmm.
But we got to talk about this week's music story, which actually is about last week's
Yeah.
music festival.
Yes,
Funny how we jump around timelines there.
or was there a music festival?
Or did it? Well, I know what happened because I watched the live stream, or at least I watched what I could
a,
of the live
a
stream
day of
because
yeah.
just a day after it started, Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival 2025 was entirely canceled due to extreme weather. The 4-day event, which drew 70,000 attendees last year, began last Thursday in Manchester, Tennessee, with artists including Tyler, the Creator, Olivia Rodrigo, and Vampire Weekend booked for headline spots
Mhm.
through Sunday night. But because we're telling you the story now,
Yeah.
organizers mixed the rest of the event after, quote, significant precipitation produced deteriorating conditions. Organizer explained that, quote, significant and steady precipitation that will produce deteriorating camping and egress conditions in the coming days, close quote, led them to call off this year's event. The festival encouraged those whose campsites were in good shape or who were staying in an RV or pre-pitched accommodations to spend the night so organizers can safely escort them out the next day.
Yeah, this was probably really disappointing to the people who had paid a lot of money to go to Bonnaroo. This was probably disappointing to people who were on their couches like you, expecting to stream it every night. Yeah, outdoor festivals are, will put people in danger if the weather is too adverse. And so I think ultimately they made the right call here. As a bonus, it looks like some makeup shows were performed by bands around the area once the weather cleared up. I mean, that's not the same as redoing a festival, but that's just one of the risks you take with the festivals. You do not know what the weather will be because you can only predict so much.
Right. I mean, that is kind of the give and take with festivals, especially outdoor festivals, of us just assuming the weather's going to be nice that weekend.
Yeah,
Even some overcast, some cloud, even some wind isn't enough to damper the mood. But heavy
but
storms, mud, camping, none of that mixes well together.
no, it doesn't.
But I was able to catch that first day of Bonnaroo,
Yeah.
live stream, of course, because I'm not going to fly myself out to Tennessee for a day. And did watch Luke Combs's performance. And as he was going, I kept mentioning, that wind looks wicked out there.
Turns out.
Yes. And notice not just because he brought in a hurricane into his set, although he did pull a jelly roll by abandoning the stage and letting Miranda Lambert come out and sing 3 songs.
Oh, that's very nice of him.
Yeah, but that's also exactly what Jelly Roll did. We just kept bringing people out and letting them
Yeah.
sing instead of him.
Is like, is
Uh,
this really a jelly roll set if we're getting like half of it with other people? I don't know.
I don't know. But thankfully, Luke Combs does have the hits. He did play a lot of the hits. That fast car hit from a couple of years ago is now officially his closer, or at least his encore
Yeah.
closer, because it is that big of a hit in such a short time.
I mean,
Uh,
I'll to get any reason to hear Fast Car. I mean, I prefer the Tracy Chapman version, but yeah, I'll take Luke Combs if I have to.
to be fair, Luke Combs also prefers the Chasey Chapman
I know
version.
she's like he said as much. Yeah,
He will say it every single time he goes out to
that's
perform
great.
it.
I love that for him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of upset I didn't get to see anything else because it
Sure.
got postponed or
Yeah,
canceled.
yeah. You
But
never want to see that.
but you got to think of the fans,
Hmm.
unlike what happened at Astro World, which is a completely different issue where they didn't think
Exactly.
of the
Yeah.
fans.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Did you listen to anything?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. Yes, but nothing that really is pertinent to the show. So yeah, I don't have much to report. Like I said, listen to Heim next week, and we'll talk about it next time.
I feel like I was supposed to listen to an album this week, but I can't remember which
I don't
one I was
know.
supposed to listen to.
I was trying to think of it if there was any major releases that not that on my radar really. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right. Dirk's Bentley. I forgot to listen to
Oh,
that.
right. That's what you were supposed to listen to. Well, you didn't, apparently.
Okay, I can listen to that next week. I listen
Yeah.
to all his broken branches.
Yeah. But it's okay. Let's get into video games, shall we?
Why? It's not like there's anything important to talk about in video games. Because we're going to
Mm,
start with
maybe.
new releases, including, well, just two this week. I am your beast for Xbox Series X and PS5, as well as Raidu Remastered, the mystery of the soulless army for
Yep.
everything. Wide release. You got it. You can play it. And by wide release, yes, I am now officially including the Switch and the Switch 2 in
Yes.
wide release.
They are broken up as two separate platforms now. So, yes, we will have to mention when Switch 2 is on something or
Yes, but this does
reverse
mean that
that.
when we
But yeah.
start these, we have
Hmm.
the PC and then group together PS4, PS5, group
Right.
together Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and now officially grouped together Switch and Switch 2.
Indeed.
All right. Well, before we get into what you've been playing, there was actually a little bit of a reveal that Nintendo had teed up a couple weeks ago during the Switch 2 Boogaloo announcement for a Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm sorry,
Yes.
not Bonanza,
Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Yeah.
Yes. And Nintendo has revealed more information on Donkey Kong Bonanza a month ahead of its release.
Hmm.
The company broadcast a 17-minute Nintendo Direct presentation focused solely on Bonanza, showing more of the game's plot and gameplay. Most notably, the game shows that Donkey Kong will be accompanied by a child version of longtime series character Pauline,
Yep.
who dreams of becoming a singer. Pauline is the alter ego of Odd Rock, the strange purple rock that was accompanying Donkey Kong in the early gameplay footage shown in recent months. It's not yet clear when Odd Rock becomes Pauline in the game, but the gameplay footage shown during the direct suggests that Pauline will present for most of the game. The direct also showed Donkey Kong's ability to perform Bonanza transformations, turning him into a variety of creatures, such as a zebra or an ostrich, for the first time. Each creature, as you would expect, has different powers. No word yet if Mario Elephant from Wonder would be showing up in this game.
No, probably not. But yeah, the Bonanza Direct was a lot of fun. It showed a lot of new footage of the game. It's cool that they're kind of doing like a partner thing with Pauline and Donkey Kong. That's a neat twist.
Mhm.
And it gives the game a little bit more personality and more of a story because you're really following, you play as Donkey Kong, but you're really following Pauline's story as kind of she's living her dream. She's fully voice active, which is an interesting choice for a Nintendo game. You don't see that very often, but hey, that's the power of the Switch too, right? As for the actual game, I saw a lot of people talking about Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Remember that PS2 Xbox era game?
Yes.
Or what that team later did, Prototype, where a lot of the game is built on destruction. So yeah, you're basically just Donkey Kong wrecking shit. So every face button basically is a version of destroying something. It could be like punching holes in things. It could be digging down. It could be picking up chunks of ground from below you or in front of you. And all of this goes to doing the combat, to solving puzzles, to exploring. It does appear to be a big open world, a la Breath of the Wild, because every Nintendo game is Breath of the Wild now. Um, and so, yeah, it seems like a lot of fun. Bonanza looks pretty incredible. And the transformation stuff is neat too, because it's taking something from the Donkey Kong Country games when there was like special like moments where you became like Rambi the Rhino, for example, and did like a little bit of platforming with the Rhino character. Now you're actually transforming into animals as Donkey Kong, and that will give you new abilities. It looks like just crazy fun, and it looks like everything that people wanted this game to be, and that's good news. So yeah, that'll be out. about a month from now. July 17th is the release date, I believe, for Bonanza. So, yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah, not officially a release game with the Switch,
No.
but at least gives other people with the Switch too to play other games, maybe upload the back catalog into it
Yeah.
before new games start coming out on a monthly slash weekly slash holiday basis.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody on this podcast perhaps has news about a Switch 2, though.
All right, my hands are tied. So we talked about us getting a Switch too, and I
Yeah, and
was
how it
firmly
probably wasn't going to
in the camp
happen.
of,
Hmm.
I have my Switch right here. While it's nice to have, it would be nice to have an upgrade. So what I did instead was went out and I got myself the exact same thing because I did not go out and buy it. I could not find it on the shelf. It was not my time.
No, because they're all sold out,
Yes.
unless you get a magic little email from Nintendo saying, "Hey, you signed up before like the before release and said that you were a Nintendo Online member, and hey, we could email you an invite if we had one for you to buy." Well, I had pretty much counted myself out. I knew that a lot of people had already gotten their emails, and I didn't realize that they were going to continue doing it after release for a while. And I got my magic email from Nintendo this week saying, "Hey, do you do you want do you want one of these? Do you want one of the ones that comes with Mario Kart?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, Nintendo, I do. I do want to Switch to in Mario Kart World. Why not, right? Like I can, yeah, sure." So I bought one and I got one. It landed today. I plugged it in, set it up, did my system transfer. And yeah, I have all my old games on there, and I have played Mario Kart World and can talk about it. Not at length here, just briefly, because I haven't played a whole lot of it yet. But first of all, do you have any questions about Switch 2 or Mario Kart? I'm curious.
Well, because today was Juneteenth, I just happened to stop by your place and
Yes,
congratulate you on getting a Switch 2 before me.
sure.
Just like I congratulated you before getting the PS5 before me. Just like I congratulated you for getting the Xbox Series X before me. I think someone's
I
here more
you
into gaming than me.
congratulated you congratulated me for getting that PS5 for you. You're
Yes,
welcome.
that too.
Anyway,
But yeah, oh, I saw it. It's thinner than I thought it would be. And
it's
yeah.
not. I swear, and I'll mention this more in Mario Kart. I swear, everybody who's been on a podcast and talked about this thing or like playing the games and feeling it, I feel like they've all been wrong or like at least different from my opinion so far. It's been very interesting how many negative, like how much negative stuff is coming out about the Switch 2. And I think it's I don't see any negatives yet. Well, I'll get to it later. But yeah, no, a lot of people are saying it felt heavier and chunkier. I disagree. It feels like substantial, but it doesn't definitely doesn't feel heavy. And yeah, you're right. It feels to the touch like it's maybe a little bit slimmer. Yeah, it's a nice little piece of kit.
Yeah. But I did like the controllers that I saw, especially with the magnetic covers coming on and
Hmm.
off so easily, not having to deal with the
Yes,
sliders.
I will say that the buttons to disconnect they're not as easy to use as it looked like on the direct video. It's not as bad as holding the thing down and sliding, but it's
Mhm.
similar in the way you kind of have to like because you're the problem with it is they put these things so close to the other buttons that you're always going to accidentally hit a button when you're doing it. And I can't figure
Mhm.
out how to not accidentally hit buttons while I'm doing it. It's just kind of annoying. But yeah, that could be smoother. But it is cool, and the magnetic technology makes it easier to connect to things like the little controller holder that it comes with. It just snaps right on.
All right. Did you happen to use it as a mouse yet? The mouse feature?
It had me set that up. It had me like do a little intro of it. And yeah, it works pretty well. I mean, I haven't played a game with it or anything, but yeah, it's pretty neat. And they even like have kind of a scroll wheel equivalent if you because your thumb is basically on the control stick, and that's
Mhm.
kind of your scroll wheel. So you can scroll up and down using the thumbstick while you're navigating by moving it like a mouse. And then the click is the right trigger.
Okay. Oh yeah. The sideways scroller.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah. So how's the interface? How's it from the Switch to the Switch 2, the user
At
interface?
first glance, it's pretty identical.
Right.
The home and the menus look more or less the same. They've separated Nintendo Online and the eShop as two separate entities now on the bottom. So you basically go to the Nintendo Online to kind of have like an overview of all the things that are available to you in your subscription if you have a Nintendo Online subscription. And then the eShop is just the eShop. It's pretty easy to navigate. It definitely loads faster than the Switch ones did, because I know the eShop was sometimes a pain, where you had to kind of wait as you scrolled for things to load, and it was just a little bit annoying. This is much better now. I was able to locate where my old games is. Now everything that you've purchased is referred to as a virtual game card. So that is where, in case you get one and you're wondering, where you can go and basically re-download your old games. Because the transfer only transfers basically what you have installed on your home screen. If you've ever deleted something off your home screen, you'll have to go and basically re-download the virtual key card. So yeah, it's stuff like that. But yeah, everything was pretty simple to navigate. Everything made sense to do it. The system transfer was pretty easy. I will say, make sure you know where your AC adapters are, because it will require you to connect both the old Switch and the new Switch to an AC adapter in order to do the transfer. I did not anticipate that, so I kind of was scrambling for my old one. But yeah, just as long as you know that, it's pretty easy, easy process.
All right. Now, if you've logged into someone's old Switch and you do a transfer,
Mm.
will it transfer those profiles?
No, it has to be the same. You have to be logged in as the same person, the same Nintendo account on both devices for the transfer to happen. There is an exception to this. If you had other people's profiles that you want to bring them over at the same time as yours, they could have different games. Theoretically, for example, if I had another profile and like for my partner or something, if Christy had had one, and then Christy had bought a game just on her profile on my Switch, which she didn't do, but if she had done that,
Mhm.
that would also come over. But it prompts you when it moves over if it moves over an account that has a Nintendo account associated with it, it will prompt you to log in as that person. So again, you can't do it without having all the credentials. So it expects you to be in the same room with that person so they can like walk over and sign in.
Okay. It also expects you to remember your password in case you've logged
Yes.
in,
Yeah.
I don't know, what, 10 years ago
Yeah. Make
and
sure
never
you have
changed it?
your password. It does it via QR code though in smartphones. So if you have like a smartphone, you just zap the QR code and it sends you to your browser to log in. It kept making me do it over and over and over again, even though when I selected remember me, and eventually it finally stopped. But it was like, okay, come on, how many times are we have to take a picture of this QR code?
All right. Anything else about the setup before we get into the game?
No, that was pretty much it. It was like I said, it was pretty simple, pretty easy to set up. I like the new dock. It's pretty much the same as the old dock.
Mhm.
Doesn't really do much else,
But it's
but yeah,
got rounded
everything's
corners
snappy.
now,
Right, it's got rounded corners. But yeah, everything's super snappy and the things feels good to use.
just like Windows 11. Everything's a rounded corner now.
Yeah,
No one likes
exactly.
a straight edge. All right. So
But yeah,
you mentioned a game that you played with it,
yeah,
Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart
World.
World is the new big launch game for the Switch 2. I got it with the system in a bundle. It's $80. If you don't get it with the bundle, up to you how much money you want to spend. And if you can find one. But yeah, Mario Kart World is exactly what I kind of thought it was going to be. It is Mario Kart with the trappings of an open world. So from the top, you can jump into any of the modes right away. There's only a handful of characters unlocked from the beginning, although more than a handful, like three handfuls. To unlock more characters, you will have to play the modes in the game. There's also alternate costumes that you can unlock by playing the races. You have to get the bags of fast food that are in certain areas around the map. So, as it stands, I've only played two of the available modes. I've played Grand Prix. That's, of course, what I started with because it's Mario Kart. I wanted to do the most Mario Karty thing in Mario Kart. So I did that first. And yeah, it plays pretty well. It's Mario Kart. If you played Mario Kart 8, you pretty much know what you're getting into here. It controls mostly the same. I will say I've noticed, and a lot of people on the internet have talked about this, and I do agree with this sentiment. It does seem they upped the difficulty a little bit of the computer racers. So traditionally, I am very good at Mario Kart. Like, not to humble brag, but I am very good. I always have been good ever since 1997, ever since I started playing Mario Kart 64. I routinely am able to just, especially on like 150cc, I will note, unlike Mario Kart 8, it doesn't go higher than 150 yet. Maybe they'll add it in a later update. Who knows? But at the 150cc difficulty or speed, I can usually get first place and keep it. Not the case in Mario Kart World. I think this is a combination of things. I think one, there's more players on the road now. There's up to 24, and there's a lot more chaos. And this is both in the maps and also with the items. So I feel like there's just more of an emphasis on item use this time because you will find a lot of situations in a regular race where you are not in the lead. You're going to be in the back of the pack at least once. You're going to be in the middle of the pack at least once. And in my experience, you're going to be in third and fourth a lot because the rubber banding is still there. You're still getting experiencing the old-fashioned Mario Kart experience of these two people are constantly on my butt. Why is it always the same two people? So yeah, it's definitely feels a little bit more difficult. However, I was doing pretty well, and I did get the ultimately, even though I didn't get first place in every race, I did end up getting the gold trophies on the first three cups. So your mileage may vary, literally. But yeah, it plays a little bit more actiony than the previous Mario Karts to me. Feel wise, it definitely like get items, use items is my advice. Also, when you start the game, it defaults to putting like the steering assist on. Again, if you've played Mario Kart 8, you know what that is. It basically prevents you from running into walls when you're like close to a corner or falling off by like making a little antenna in your back, like sense, I guess, how close you are to a wall. That's on by default, which seems great if you're a newer player, but if you're like me, I don't want that because it actually does affect the sensitivity of how you can drift around turns. And I like to have full control over that. As soon as I turned it off, I was racing a lot better, like turns out. But the first couple of races, I was like, oh, shoot, this is on. So note that if you're somebody who needs to turn that off, like me. Um, so yeah, that's my advice. Like use items. Don't hoard them like I am want to do. And yeah, make sure you're getting coins and make sure you turn off any assist you don't want.
How's the
Then
open world?
I was just gonna get into that. So the other thing I tried was the open world mode. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time with it, but the time I have spent with it, I'm very impressed. And this might change later. A lot of the feedback I've heard about this mode is people are like, it's not as big as you want it to be. There's not enough to do as much as you want. And eventually you run out. Well, I'm just not to the point where I've run out yet. I've played a little bit of it, but it's really cool so far. It's basically like kind of a Breath of the Wild or like a similar open world game. It just puts you in the world. You have a map if you want to reference it. And as you just drive around, you'll find interesting things, whether it be piles of coins or power-ups or P switches. If you're familiar with the P switch for the Mario games, you know what I'm talking about. If you hit a P switch, there's a challenge to complete. And these range from navigate these platforms or jump off the cliff and fly through the rings or drive up this hill in a certain time limit. They're all timed. And the better you do, you can set records. And you get stickers, in-game stickers for each challenge that you complete. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it was cool to look around. There's peach coins that you can go and find. Presumably, there's some sort of reward if you get them all. Who knows? And you can even get those extra costumes in this mode as well. You can drive around and look for those fast food bags and get alternate costumes. So that way you're not having to remember exactly where they are in the Grand Prix races. You can just kind of explore and find them. So yeah, that's pretty much really all I have to say about it so far. when Christy gets home tonight, we're gonna jump into the multiplayer options and see. I haven't played the knockout battle yet. We're probably gonna try that, which is kind of their battle royale equivalent, where if you're further back within a certain place by the time that you cross the finish line, you're eliminated. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that out. Unlocking more characters, unlocking more costumes. I just unlocked Daisy, so I'm a happy camper. So yeah, it's good. It's good so far. I'm really liking it. It looks beautiful and it runs so smooth. It's like you take 8, which was already a really good looking, smooth running game, pump it up to 11 because like it just looks so good. So yeah, back to what I was talking about earlier, like I feel like people are being really negative on this, and I think part of it is because it's the biggest game right now. It's pretty much some
Hmm.
people view it as the only new game that's really available for the Switch. Kind of is. And so yeah, I get why you would maybe be a little underwhelmed, but to me, I like Mario Kart, and this is a really good Mario Kart game so far with so much I haven't even touched yet. And I think there's a lot of potential to find all sorts of crazy stuff in the open world. So I'm going to keep playing it, and I'll probably have more to say about it next week.
All right. I think because it is the new game from Nintendo, a lot of people
Mhm.
are jumping into it. I did see a report about other third-party games that were part of that first initial wave of releases not selling as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because one, they're third party. Two,
Yeah.
they've already been on other platforms. So if you've
Yeah.
been really waiting, holding off on playing it because of waiting for the Switch 2, that's on you.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to briefly talk about that because it's a little misleading. Um, because if you actually look at the numbers and compare them to the Switch 1 in the same time frame,
Mhm.
there's actually there's a bigger share of third-party sales of third-party games for the Switch 2 in the same time frame than there was for the Switch 1. So that's a little bit misleading. I'll also say that um, you're right. Mario Kart's going to dominate the conversation because, of course, it is. It's Mario Kart. It's the first Mario Kart in a long time. So people are going to buy that with their new system. Of course, it is. So even if it wasn't bundled, I think this would be the killer app, and it would be the thing that most people would buy. And the last thing I'll say about it is it's a little unfair, like to basically say like, oh, like it's a Nintendo console. Like we know that this is how it works. The publishers know how this works. It's going to take some time for the systems to sell better to not the hardcore audience, in order for a lot of the more variety of games to sell. So yeah, just wait, just to hold your horses, people. The thing's been out for 2 weeks.
Right. I mean, that's why they release it in the summer for the hardcore fans. Get
Yeah.
some more buzz, more momentum. That way, come this holiday season, it's the
Mhm.
thing you're going to want to buy. Otherwise, you're going to have a terrible Christmas.
Yeah. I do want to say I also jumped briefly into Pokemon Scarlet because I knew that there was a little bit of an update with how that game
Yes.
runs. I'm happy to say that yes and no is the answer to that. I think that the frame rate problem is fixed. That game is running at 60 now, which is really cool to see. However, those games running at 60 remind you of the rest of the game's issues, which is those textures are still really gross to look at, and it is not a good looking game. I'm sorry. I still am struggling to want to go back to that thing because that little 5 minutes that I played again of it was like, wow, it sure runs better, but oh boy, I don't like looking at this. So
Hey,
yeah,
that's why AZ is coming out in
yeah,
October.
a much better looking game that I also will not play. So,
We'll see what it is when it comes out in October, which is also when the Digimon game comes out in October as well.
right. So
So, hey, is it like 1999 again, where they're competing for the same audience?
maybe so, maybe so. But yeah, that's it for Switch 2 stuff. I'll talk about more next week if I have more to talk about.
All right. In the meantime, I haven't been playing anything new, so let's go over into television, where we start with the
Yeah.
sports corner.
Oh, real quick, I should say, last week I said I was going to play some Steam Next Fest demos. Obviously, this happened, so the time that I was going to do use that was used for this instead. Next week, I promise. I downloaded 2 of them. I'll be able to talk about Date Everything and Ball Pit next week, so look forward to that.
All right. So we're gonna start over in the sports corner with the U.S. Open. of golf. And the winner is none other than the very, very well known JJ Spawn,
Nope.
was shooting
Not ringing a bell.
-1 over the tournament over at Oakmont. Just for reference, he is the only player this past weekend to shoot under par.
Wow.
And he did so by birdie on the 18th hole, 60 yards out. Otherwise, he would have ended up even and still would have won the tournament because everyone else was over par and out of the running.
Guess
Just a
so.
really tough week over at Oakmont for the U.S. Open.
Hmm.
But this does guarantee JJ Spawn to appear in not just the U.S. Open, but the Masters tournament when it comes back around in April
Hmm.
for the next 5 years. Guaranteed play, which
Wow.
means guaranteed money.
Yes.
Speaking of guaranteed money, hey, football's happening this past weekend. Well, the UFL had its championship game where the DC Defenders topped the Michigan Panthers in a very normal football score of 58-34, with DC Defenders quarterback and former first overall pick Jordan Ta'amu winning MVP honors,
Okay.
not just for the game, but also for the season as well, as he threw the most touchdowns of anyone this past season with 17. Yes, that is low, but they also only played like 8 games.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Actually, no, 10, because they were 6-4 going into the championship game. They played 10 games and he scored 17 touchdowns. Passing, not including his rushing.
Okay.
Also, this past weekend, the draft combine happened at Chase Field in Phoenix. Or if you're like me and a normal person, you're watching the NCAA draft combine as
Yeah.
Omaha took place this past week
Omaha.
as well. Jumping over there real quickly, we have our finalists for the championship games this weekend. Coastal Carolina, yes, that Coastal Carolina,
Yeah.
more than just basketball, versus LSU for the Men's College World Series Championship. That'll be taking place this weekend. They play on Saturday and Sunday. If they're still tied, if they split those series, then they play sudden death on Monday night, which is what
Cool.
everyone's hoping for, right? Not just for LSU to sweep, right?
Don't ask me.
Well, I'm being facetious there because LSU actually had to come out of the losers bracket to get back to the championship game,
I see.
whereas Coastal Carolina has been rocking it through.
Cool.
All right. Going back up to MLB the show. Just a
Yes.
reminder, draft day for MLB is 1 month away. All-Star game is 1 month away. All-Star
Yes.
ballot voting is open. Make sure you get your vouchers in.
Yes. Do it now.
Um, because while you're doing that, as you're listening to us, we will tell you about the return of a man who was deemed too good for baseball.
Well, is it really a return if he's been there the whole time, but just not doing this specific thing?
Well, he wasn't on the bump where he could actually throw a baseball because he had Tommy John surgery thanks to the red Los Angeles Angels. So now he gets to play for the blue Los Angeles Angels.
Dodgers. They're the Dodgers. Come
Well, yeah, they are dodging wins left and right because they have not won a game in a while.
on.
But in hoping to turn things around, Otani did come out onto the mound after 663 days away from
Yeah.
his last time pitching. And they hit him, and they hit him, and they hit him, and they hit him. But he was still throwing fastballs. He was still
Yep.
throwing his 90-mile-an-hour pitches. So he didn't lose everything, but not quite the stellar opening, come out as they probably would have wanted.
I mean, yeah, but also it's the what do you want, right? Like it's going to be the first like showing from him in a long ass time. Like, what do you expect? Like, he's not going to be Magic immediately. Like, if you
I mean,
recall
it
back
was
when he was a pitcher for the Angels, one of the things that we always said about Otani's pitching appearances was his first inning is always terrible and he warms up as the game goes on. And
Mhm.
that's what happened here.
Right, but you probably don't want him warming up in his first pitches back against your rival, the Padres,
Right, at home. This is
at
the other
home.
thing is that
Yes.
they deployed him on a day that probably wasn't the best day for him. Um,
Right, because
yeah,
usually pitches on Sunday. This was a Monday game.
yeah. So
They're just
yeah,
messing up all the Otani's like rituals and everything. Just
yep.
because like they don't know how to use them or something. I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know, but
I
they'll
don't know.
figure it out.
I mean, they have $700 million to figure him out.
Yeah,
Wait,
they've
no,
got the
no, that's not
time and
right.
the money.
No, that's right. This season they only have $2 million to figure him out. All that deferred money.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, let's go into some finals that are happening.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the one that actually concluded.
Yeah.
Hockey is
Hockey.
no more until next season, as the Florida Panthers have officially won the Stanley Cup, toppling the Oilers 4 games to 2.
Yep.
Um, they are now back to back
Yep. It's two in a
hockey
row.
champions.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been a three-peat had it not been for the Golden Knight. Yeah, get that dirt out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Florida. You've once again ruined Connor McJesus's chance at a Stanley Cup hoisting.
Indeed.
Till next year. But hey, the good thing is that the next season of hockey starts now. Everyone is exactly the same 0-0 going into the season. It's a
Yep.
fresh new start for the LA Kings to make their triumphant return to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
Assuming they eventually get bought up by TWG, but we'll talk about that. You know what? Right now,
Yes. Why don't we talk
because
about that
why don't we
right
talk about
now?
that right now? Because in the NBA, the finals are still happening. The Thunder are technically up 3-2. I say technically because they are playing game 6 as of tonight, as of this recording. I believe tip off just happened according to my clock here. So the Thunder could be your NBA champions unless the Pacers force a game 7, in which case that'll be this weekend,
Okay.
which is great and all. But that wasn't even the biggest news out of the NBA
No.
because months after the Boston Celtics were sold for a staggering amount of $3.1 billion, Jeannie Buss, or rather the Buss family over at the Lakers thought, ooh, I like me a Billy. I want a Billy. Let's make a Billy. So the Lakers are being sold to TWG, which is a sports conglomerate group, kind of owns other franchises in and around the LA area and over globally, including, but not limited to, the aforementioned Shohei Ohtani LA Dodgers, the other LA team, basketball team, not that team, the Sparks, LA Sparks,
Right.
Chelsea FC Football Club,
Mm.
RC Strasbourg, Alsace, Andretti Global, Spire Motorsports, Cadillac F1 team, and Wayne Taylor Racing, all in the motorsports industry. And so this leads everyone to thinking and praying and hoping, will they pay LeBron more to just go away? Or will they pay Luca to stay forever? Because apparently the buses do not want to pay either of them when their supermax contracts come up in at the end of next year.
Mm.
There is no number on this franchise, but like I said, with the Celtics being sold for an obscene amount of money, I expect this to be even higher because, as for a global sport, the Lakers are kind of seen as the global team for the NBA because of the championships, the dynasty, the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Shaqs, the gold, the purple, the Showtime. Do I have to say more about why they're so good? About why
Yeah,
they deserve, not necessarily deserve, but why they're worth all these billions of dollars.
right. Yeah, makes sense.
And we saw that they purchased the LA Dodgers and they, oh, look, won a championship. Maybe they want to purchase the Lakers and, oh, look, win another championship. Start collecting championships left and right from different sports.
Yep, looks like it.
Uh, so that will be happening. We'll get a final number when the deal actually goes through.
Okay.
But for now, yeah, Lakers, more than likely, this will go through, especially when you have TWG, which owns the Dodgers and the Sparks, which kind of means that the Lakers are good at that. One thing owners like to do is move the team. I
Yeah,
don't think this is going to be happening here.
I don't think so. No, it's a pretty big market. They want to keep it in the second biggest market in the country. Um, Now you mentioned a little bit about what this might mean for players, but like, what do you think overall this might mean for the team? Do you think that this is like, will like maybe inspire some new energy behind a Lakers team that didn't necessarily deliver on the dream team stuff this year? Or do you think that maybe it'll have a negative impact?
Well, believe it or not, the Lakers have won within the past 5 years.
But like I said, this past
That being
season
in
though
2020.
was really disappointing.
Yes. I mean, does it say on the championship website 2020 NBA champions, Lakers, parentheses, was disappointing? No, 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 it does. It just says world champs on it.
Yeah.
So no, as much as what I think is going to happen is much like we saw with the Dodgers, they're going to pump it full of money. They're going to pay whatever luxury tax is associated with the NBA for going over a salary cap, and they're going to be pulling in more money due to ticket sales because they're going to raise the ticket prices, more money due to jersey sales because they're going to redesign the jersey. So everyone's got to have the newest and latest and greatest Laker jersey. And don't be surprised if you see a redesign on the logo as well, much like the Clippers this past season had a redesign of their logo when they got a new stadium associated with it. It'll be interesting to see if they get a new stadium too. There's not a whole lot of land in LA to do that. But I hear the Forum is looking more and more like a vacant lot, and they may just switch back to the Forum. Just be like, hey, remember when the
Hmm.
Lakers are at the Forum? Let's put them back there because it's now right next to SoFi, right next to YouTube Studios, right next to, oh, look, into a dome.
It's very possible. It could happen.
Yes, but we'll save
All
my
right.
tinfoil hat theories for another time.
Fair enough. Any other sports bits before we move on to television?
None that are coming to my mind right now. NASCAR's still gonna NASCAR
Mhm.
its way around till we get to the October or September and
Mhm.
October playoffs.
Oh, I have one. My new weekly segment where I update everybody about the AUSL and why you should be watching it. The official Athletes Unlimited Softball League YouTube channel has now started uploading full games. So if you missed them or don't have a way of watching them, you can now catch them on their YouTube channel. Just search YouTube for Athletes Unlimited Softball League. They're also putting highlights videos as of this morning up. So if you don't have a spare 2.5 hours, you can watch the highlights. So yeah, I say go check it out. There's a lot of great gameplay happening. Some spectacular home runs. It's just nonstop fast action. Like if you're somebody out there who doesn't like baseball because you think it's too slow and boring, I've got a sport to sell you on. It's called softball because it only goes to 7 innings. The bases are closer. They're only 60 feet, not 90. So base running's more exciting. The pitches are more interesting. There are more challenges in each of these games than I've seen in a major league game in forever. And they all look like they're having fun. No more of the Anthony Rendon types that just look like they're there to collect a paycheck. No, every single of these women look like they're having the time of their lives. And because this league just started, You have so many chances to see things that have literally never happened in the league before. Like if you watch that first game, it's like, oh yeah, I watched the first hit, the first run, the first home run. A couple games later, the first walk off, the first like it just keeps going, and it's just a party. It's just like so much fun. If you like baseball, you will like softball. I guarantee it. Trust me. It's everything you like about baseball turned up like three more notches, and it has women in it.
Sold.
Yeah, I mean that's all I need to tell you. So yeah, check out Athletes Unlimited Softball League. No, I'm not being paid by them, but call me up. Call me up. I will do
Add to
free.
a hat.
I will do publicity for you.
Add to a hat.
Anyway, yeah, no, give me a free
Do some
talons hat.
voiceovers
We'll
for
talk.
it.
I wish, man, that'd be so much fun. But yeah, it's a blast, and they did confirm that next season there will be two more teams adding to the four that already existed or already exist, and they will be assigned to cities. So get ready; they could be coming to a city near you.
All right, waiting for the Irvine Blaze to show up.
We're fine. No, Long Beach. They
Long
they
Beach
should play
Blaze.
here. They should play here at Long Beach, and then I can just walk to games. Anyway, but yeah,
All right.
that's your update.
Anyways, we have TV news.
Yeah, we do. Let's go into that. This week,
Well,
as most weeks, we are
news.
talking about, yeah, all right. Like most weeks, this week's television news is about streaming networks because that is television now. I don't have to tell you that. But specifically, the ads that you may have noticed get worse. So when HBO Max launched its ad-supported plan back in 2021, it promised no more than 4 minutes of ads per hour. Well, since then, they've quietly backtracked. A support page for Max's basic with ads plan says to expect 6 minutes of ads per hour, a 50% jump. That math's a little off, but you know what I mean. And
Well,
despite
50
its
from the four.
yeah,
From the four, it's plus
I
150.
guess so. And
Yes.
despite its original promise not to show ads during HBO programming, Max has been breaking up HBO shows with commercials too. An episode of The Last of Us, for instance, has 3 ad breaks, plus a batch of ads before the video starts. Max isn't alone in stuffing more ads into its videos. Last week, Adweek reported that Amazon had roughly doubled the length of commercial breaks on Prime Video, and third party data has shown rising ad loads on Disney Plus, Hulu, Discovery Plus, Peacock, and Netflix. They are quietly trying to put more and more ads into your streaming services to get you to start paying them.
Well, I mean, they want the money hands from both sides. The paying
Mhm.
from the ads, giving money from the ads, or are you sick of ads? Pay me more for the non-ads. But even then, we'll still put ads of our shows and bumpers in front of the stuff you're going to watch,
Right, right.
especially if it's new that week.
Mhm.
Because I've seen that a lot with HBO and Disney,
And Apple
where
TV Plus, who also does a trailer of something else right before you watch your
yes, like,
thing.
hey, watch this trailer for this other thing that you might
Mhm.
want to watch before your actual show. I usually try and skip through those, but it's still there. It still pops up. Side note to this story, Netflix will be experimenting this upcoming, sorry, not this summer, next year, starting 2026, with with local TV on Netflix. Now, this isn't the US. This is the story is technically about France and French or F1 French TV being on Netflix, but international test markets just to see how it goes before rolling it out globally to
Yeah.
back to the US. And hey, did they just make a deal with PBS to show uh, Sesame Street
Yes,
on
they did.
PBS and
They
Netflix?
did.
Maybe they want to expand that to have PBS shows on Netflix and run live time with Netflix. Hmm. I see. I see what you're doing there.
Could be,
Pay me my
could be.
President Bucks for thinking that.
Anyway,
Anyways, back to the original story. Yes, ads. You can pay for them. You can pay for them to not be there, but they're going to show up. They're going to creep in. And in order to get more money from these ad companies, they're going to stretch it a little bit longer, a little bit
yeah,
longer, a little bit longer before
it's
you
unfortunate.
realize what was in 2021 being like, oh man, I can watch 2 minutes of ads. That's nothing. Now it's like, hey, these seem longer. These seem like they keep going. I thought we just had ads.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They're there.
they're there, unfortunately.
Mhm.
All right. That's it for television news. Let's briefly talk about, well, did you watch anything this week that we want to talk about? I feel like we're kind of in the doldrums of TV too.
We are Apple TV Stick. It's out. The first
Okay.
5 episodes are up. I'll probably be talking about this maybe not next week, but the week after. I'm just going to try and binge through it.
Okay.
But I like the trailers. It's got Owen Wilson. It's got a
Good.
Happy Gilmore vibe to it, except not through Happy Gilmore's perspective, through the coach of Owen Wilson's the coach. He's not the golfer, but he's golfing a U.S. amateur, 17-year-old kid in golf life, and world lessons, mentorship. So it looks fun. Same guys who did Ted Lasso, same guys who did Shrinking are doing this one as well. So it looks fun, looks promising. Haven't heard anything negative about it yet. Also, haven't heard anything positive about it, but I will be listening and watching this and coming because it is golf and Ted Lasso.
Yeah. No, Christy saw the trailer for this and seemed interested. Of course, she loves Owen Wilson, which is mainly why. Um, but the golf part of it does not excite me, but maybe we'll give this a shot and see how it goes. So,
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe we'll add that to our rotation as well. Yeah. I can't think of any other television
Um, the Bear is coming back
soon.
soon. I just don't remember if it's June or July release schedule.
I want to say
I want
it's
to say it's
next month
June.
because otherwise it would have happened already, right?
Well, no, because it comes out the end of. So I wonder if it's
Hmm. Maybe it is. I don't know.
yeah, I think it's like June 25th, which is why I'm thinking that, which is
Okay.
now on Wednesday,
Well,
which means we could
if
be
it
following
is,
it. We could be talking about
yeah,
it next week.
if it is, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, if there only was a place we could like look this up.
I know. If only the internet was at our hands. Too bad. Anyway, let's move on into cancellations and renewals accepted. No cancellations this week, just some renewals. First up, Fox is bringing back Lego Masters for sixth season, and this time, old Joel McHale has been replaced with Nick Cannon. Yes, this is not the first time that Fox has replaced a host with Nick Cannon. The last time they did this was when Jamie Foxx briefly had surgery and was taken away from Beat Shazam and was
Mhm.
replaced by Nick Cannon. Beat Shazam no longer seems to exist, so I guess Nick Cannon is free, and here's Lego Masters. So sure, why not? We also have Tucci in Italy on Nat Geo getting a second season. That is what it sounds like. That is Stanley Tucci in Italy.
Yes, so all you Tucci gangs, get
Yes,
out
all
there.
the members of the Tucci gang. Check it out. Next up, Bad Thoughts on Netflix is getting a second season. So those bad thoughts remain bad. Uh, in deaths, we have one to talk about this week that I didn't even know about until this morning. It was a surprise to me. I missed this happening, and it's a real sad surprise. Anne Burrell, age 55, a Food Network personality, known for Secrets of a Restaurant Chef, Worst Cooks of America, where she was famously the host, and occasional appearances on Iron Chef America. You would know her and remember her from her wild haircut. Um,
The platinum blonde,
yes,
short haircut, uh, fiery personality, even
yes,
fiery and spicier food.
right, yeah. Kind of a Food Network, like somebody who's just always there, and I didn't think that she was going to go anywhere anytime soon. But geez, 55, that's super young and just tragic.
Yeah, I did not see how she
Me
died.
neither.
I haven't seen anything related to it, just that they're reporting on that she had died, and the other news sources did pick it up.
Hmm.
Seems to be confirmed because it's been a couple days since. And yeah, I mean, she was working on shows. She was just on some Food Network shows this past year.
Hmm.
She was working with like food banks and setting up like restaurants and stuff. Like 55 is young.
Yeah,
And
really young.
yeah, like one of the like current faces of Food Network just gone.
Yeah, it's rough. That's a
Yes.
sad one for sure. Okay, let's move on to the last section of the show, which is the movies section. And we always
Real
start the movie.
quickly, I am
Yes.
right. June 25th for The Bear season 4.
Thank you. Okay, so next week we should be talking about the first episode of the new season of The Bear. So look
Oh, they
forward
bomb all
to that.
everything at once. So
Oh, do they? Well,
yes.
we do it weekly because we like it that way. So we're gonna only watch the first one.
Okay.
Anyways, let's move on to movies. Movies is the last section of the show, and we always start movies with the weekend box office numbers. And damn you, you were $4 million right. $4 million. That's nothing.
To be fair, uh, talking about last week, I actually had thought the number was going to be higher than 84. If we could take my number at 100, you would have been right.
Yeah, but 80 seemed reasonable. And this is why,
It is
because
reasonable. It's
we were 100% in the
yes.
ballpark. It's just
Yep.
I chose the wrong end of it. But yes, How to Train Your Dragon, the live action animated hybrid reboot of the series, is your number one movie at the box office this week to the tune of $84 million. That does put you as the winner with above 80 as your prediction and me as the loser. I return to 500 and you remain losing. You're 7-Eleven now, though, so get
Yeah, I
yourself a
am.
Slurpee. In the meantime, number two is Lilo and Stitch with $15 million. That's at 366 domestic, which is pretty strong. Number three, Materialists with $12 million in its debut. Number four, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning made another $10 million. That's at 166. From the World of John Wick: Ballerina made another $9.7 million. That's at 42. There's no one knows that thing exists. And way down at number nine, your other debut this week, The Life of Chuck, with only $2.3 million.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Materialist was going to do that well.
Yeah.
It's Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
That's a good cast, turns out.
Yeah, turns out
I mean, I'm interested in it just because Dakota Johnson's in it, but beyond that,
yeah, on that. Yeah, it's
other things.
there's other things attached to it too.
Yeah, maybe it's a good movie.
All right.
Who can say? All right, then this week you have two bangers. Is summer movie season is here. It
Yep.
is launching because we have something for the family and something for the creeps. First up, Pixar is back with the brand new original story, Elio, which comes out this week. I have not seen anything about Elio since the original trailer. I saw maybe a billboard, but I have not been marketed to for this film, so I have no idea whether I'm interested in it or not.
Oh, a lot of the marketing has gone to the family-friendly shows, aka the sports stuff that's been happening.
Oh, see, yeah,
Both the finals, they've been marketed heavily there, along
yeah,
with Superman, but Superman doesn't come
okay.
out till next month, 7-Eleven.
Well, see, I watch all my baseball streaming and not on television, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm not seeing those ads. I see car ads, and that's pretty much it. Um, and then the other movie is 28 years later, of course, in the sequel to 28 days and 28 weeks later. I've already heard really good early buzz from people who are saying that this is a fantastic follow-up to those movies. So if you like zombies, check it out.
Depending how well this one performs, it's supposed to be the end cap to that trilogy, but
Right.
also the start of a new trilogy as well.
Could be. So those are your new releases for the week. All right,
All right.
let's move on.
So
As
we got to pick something. You can't move on.
Oh, right, that's right. Buh. I mean, family friendly, obviously, right? We'll
Elio,
do
right?
Elio. But how much are you thinking?
Okay, so assuming How to Train Your Dragon does its 50% drop, that puts it at 40.
Okay.
Elio probably going to do better, do we think, than 40?
I will say we'll do better. Oh yeah, this is, I guess, my turn to set the number, huh? So yeah, it'll definitely do better than that. I just don't know if it has the juice of How to Train Your Dragon. It is Pixar, but it's an original Pixar.
Hmm.
So that's that tricky place to navigate. I'm going to say let's put it at 70.
Okay.
And I want to I'll take the risk this week. I'll take the over on 70.
I was going to give you the over anyway because I was thinking it's
Okay.
going to hit about 60, 65.
Okay. I almost
So I'm
said
going under.
65, but I'm feeling a little spicy. Feeling a little spicy. So we'll
All
see
right.
how this goes. I wasn't spicy enough last time, so I'm gonna put on a little extra pepper
Like
on
you said,
top.
though, it is Disney, it is Pixar, it is an
Yes.
original though,
That could
which
bring people in. But what you just said was part of why I'm convinced is that they've been doing the marketing during the sports games, which
yes,
means it's marketing that I'm not seeing, which means that my I can't rely on my own experience.
yep.
So I have trust in Pixar here. And speaking of Pixar, they just happen to be the focus of our movie story this week about what they have coming up next. Disney
Yes.
Pixar's chief creative officer, Pete Docter, unveiled a packed Pixar slate featuring an all new film at France's Annecy Animation Festival. Gatto, that's like the Spanish way to say cat, except with two T's,
Which I
is
think the
expected.
Italian way
Oh,
to
it's the
say
Italian
cat.
way. Okay, thank you. Expected in summer 2027, comes from the filmmaking team behind Luca, director Enrico Casarosa and producer Andrea Warren. This new Pixar film returns to Italy, Casarosa's birth country, this time to Venice, where, after years of maneuvering the seaside, an extraordinary city, a black wait, what? A black cat named Nero begins to question whether he's lived his life right. They also showed Hoppers, which is being helmed by BAFTA Children's Awards winner Daniel Chong, the creator of Cartoon Network's We Bare Bears, and appears to bring a refreshing humor to this strikingly beautiful Girl Turns Beaver modern ecological adventure. Girl Turns Beaver? So they're going to do Turning Red again?
No, she's going to inhabit the mind of a mechanical beaver to give sway to King Beaver, played by John Hamm.
Wow. Okay. I got to see these trailers. Disney Pixar CEO Pete Docter delighted Pixar fans with exclusive footage from Hoppers, along with a sneak peek at the first 2 minutes of the studio's summer 2026 release that we already knew about, Toy Story 5. So, a lot for Pixar fans to absorb, a lot to look forward to. You seem interested. What are you looking forward to in this slate?
I mean, Elio does have me a little bit interested. It does kind of also remind me of the four films that they put out during the COVID era. So I'm a little tepid on whether it's going to catch audiences in the right zeitgeist,
Mhm.
especially since it seems to have gone through several changes of story. But I do like where they're going with it of a kid being absorbed or taken to an alien world and being like, yeah, sure, I'm the leader of Earth. And then the traditional aliens show up to Earth and be like, take me to
Right,
your leader.
right.
So I like where it's going with it. I think it's got some fun, cute, charming jokes and could be a nice, heartwarming story of like finding your place in the universe. From there, it's going to go then to Hoppers, like sorry, no, not Hoppers, Toy Story 5 next summer before it
Mhm.
goes to Hoppers. So they're going into the well of we need more money. So Toy Story 5, $1 billion. It's going to deal with the initial story of the toys who are toys versus Bonnie, who is 8 and now interested in iPad toy and iPad kids. And yes, they
Ah,
will get into the clash of what is a toy
right.
again, because we just had that with Forky. Is he a toy? But also,
No.
like, do traditional toys count in a world of digital toys?
I'm still not sold. I'm still confused on what they're trying to do. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. We have talked about Hoppers before on this podcast, which is about a girl who inhabits the mind of a mechanical beaver versus a uh, industrial complex destroying the environment to build homes, lumbering, um, that classic ecological versus industrial fight. So it seems pretty safe. We'll see
Sure.
where it goes from there. Interested in Gatto, just because it is Venice, it is a different type of film, but a lot of this does remind me of Flow, which came out last year about another
Yeah.
black cat in a world where it is water filled and trying to navigate in this lost world.
It
Uh,
is strange, right? That like they're doing a cat movie. on water just after a very famous cat movie on water beat them at the Oscars.
Yes.
It's Bugs Life ants all over again, huh?
Yeah, except those came out within a year of
Reverse.
each other. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, at least you know what Pixar is coming. I like that they're not going straight to the sequel well just yet. Although they do have probably have some money in the back pocket because of the sequel well that was Inside Out 2, which made them billions of dollars. And like I said, Toy Story 5 coming out next year, 2026, which will inevitably make them billions of dollars. So it's good to see them doing a sequel, but also keeping that new inspiring IP alive.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Um, and I think I talked about this last week, right? I believe I did.
Yeah, I think you did. So
All right.
did you that's it for news. Did we yeah, do we have any other movies we need to talk about this week? I don't think so.
No, sorry for everyone who's not watching what we are. The Battle of Walrus Island. I did talk about that last week, so you
Yes, you
can
talked
listen
about
to
that
my
last
thoughts
week.
about it.
Last time.
This episode.
So in the meantime, yeah, I guess we have no new movies to talk about. So that means, hey, we can wrap this up. A quick, cool hour of podcasting for y'all. Thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Media Boat Podcast. If you want to find our video versions of our podcast, you can go to YouTube, search YouTube for Media Boat Podcast, and you'll find our channel. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications when new videos go live. You can also find us on audio services via podcast services if you search Media Boat Podcast on any of those. You can also find us on the internet. We're on MediaBoatPodcast.com. We're on Blue Sky. Just search Media Boat Podcast there. And twitch.tv/video games. I haven't done that in a while. Twitch.tv/MediaBoat is where you can find us playing video games. I still do not know what's at twitch.tv/video games. I don't advise you go there because I can't guarantee it's not dangerous. Don't do it. Anyways, so there you can play. You can
You're
find us
done.
playing the occasional video game.
You're
And
done.
lastly, you can email us questions, comments, make fun of me at mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com. We will read your emails on the show, especially the ones where you're making fun of me. So that'll do it for this week. You will be back next time for another Media Boat podcast.
We'll be
We'll see
back
ya.
next week with news, more thoughts.
More
The
nudes.
bear
The bear.
and us.
Yeah.
All right,
I
bye.
don't know. Bye.